This is Cult Film Face-Off.
Hello and welcome back to Cult Film Face-Off, episode 56. With me, as always, is Chet Roivas.
Hello.
And I am Nick Leonard. First up, and biting the ankles eagerly, from 1984 is Ghoulies, directed by Luca Bercovici. A young couple move into an old mansion, Jonathan and Rebecca. Jonathan starts to obsess about the occult and a desire to bring back and control ancient demons. Ghoulies.
Jonathan is having a housewarming party.
Whoa! What do you guys want to do?
Well, we could play hide and go seek.
Yeah.
What about Trivial Pursuit?
Yeah.
Strip poker.
Yeah.
I got an idea. Let's do a ritual.
Unfortunately, there will be some surprise guests. They have very bad manners. And they have no respect for privacy. They'll wake up the neighbors.
What the hell's in there?
And they never take no for an answer.
Oh, man, that chick is really a screamer.
Ghoulies, once they show up, you can never get rid of them.
So, Chet, Ghoulies. Have you seen it?
I had not seen it. No, I mean I'm famous. I'm famous.
Just cut there.
I'm familiar with the famous video box of the ghoulie popping its head out of the toilet. I saw it when I was a child, and I thought I don't want any of that action. The last thing I need is to be afraid of going to the car seat. So I saw that when I was a kid. I've never seen it. Never knew. I mean, basically, it's a video cover from my childhood. Never thought about it until we were requested to do this episode. What about you?
I have seen Ghoulies 1, I've seen Ghoulies 2, and I've seen Ghoulies 3, Ghoulies Go to College.
Is that all of them, or is there a fourth?
No, there's more.
Oh,
there's a fourth.
Okay.
There's
So
a fourth.
when did you see the first one?
When I was about 9 or 10.
Okay.
When I was really young. It's got that very... everybody from our generation remembers the Ghoulies video box.
Oh yeah, I mean that's an iconic image.
They'll get you in the end,
Yeah.
which is it's a great tagline.
Yeah.
I've watched Ghoulies. All I remember from thinking back, because I haven't seen any of the Ghoulies films for over 20 years, and I just kept thinking to myself, oh right, so if I'm watching a Ghoulies film, it's going to be the one in the ghost train, and that's the one I remember clearly.
Okay.
Well, not clearly, I just remember it happened in a ghost train, and that was the one I kind of watched more than once. And I remember Ghoulies 3 being terrible and being really let down because of the strength of Ghoulies 1 and 2. And I'm thinking after watching Ghoulies, there was no strength in Ghoulies 1, and I must have just been thinking about Ghoulies 2. Because Ghoulies is a pretty terrible film.
Yeah, I mean, this could have been the best horror film ever made, and nothing in it would have made my blood run colder than it did when I saw fucking Empire Pictures at the beginning. I was like, oh god, Charles Band. I didn't realise this was a Charles Band movie. This is going to be horrific, and it was. This is a horrific, worthless, absolute dog shit piece of shit. I mean, this is a terrible film. I mean, you must have had, with the nostalgia factor, you must have found stuff to enjoy, surely. No?
Did I enjoy anything about this?
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy anything about this. I didn't enjoy anything about it. I think what you can say from this is the actor that plays Jonathan gives it his all. I can say that.
Okay, the funniest thing about him is that he kept being referred to by the completely innocuous and needless voiceover. This is another movie where there's voiceover in it. A voiceover.
There's a lot of superfluous voiceover.
The voiceover is supposed to make things easier to understand, and it didn't. It was just a guy mustering in the background. But he kept referring to him as boy, and I was like, boy? And then he had a conversation around the dinner table with his better half, and she was like, they're having an argument about whether he leaves school. I was like, school? He's like, I've got to wait until I graduate. I was like, what? This isn't a child. I looked him up on IMDb at the time. He was in his mid-30s when they made this movie. I was like, that's the least convincing teenager of all time, I think. I don't think that can be beaten. That's the least convincing...
I'll tell you what.
Boy.
That's what it's got there. That's what it smashed it at. Ghoulies, this film is a terrible film because basically it sells you something that it doesn't deliver. It doesn't deliver Ghoulies.
Yeah.
It doesn't deliver Ghoulies. It doesn't. That toilet shot is a few seconds. What it delivers is 45 minutes of really banal dialogue between a young couple and their group of teeth-gnawingly annoying friends.
Classic 80s oddballs.
Oh, yeah. That party sequence, I mean, the party sequence is soundtrack to a subpar Streets of Rage. Like, it sounded like Streets of Rage on the Mega Drive, but it wasn't as good. And no one has a party when somebody in the kitchen is casually making mashed potatoes.
I was like, this is the wankest house party I've ever seen depicted in a film in my life. But yeah, I mean, I'm probably going to end up going over old ground of stuff that I said when we talked about the last Charles Band movie that we spoke about. I think it was probably Dollman versus Demonic Toys. But
would you say this is worse than Dollman or Demonic Toys?
This is the same thing in that they're trying to distract. Everything's a distraction. They're saying, "Here's this movie. Oh, great! What?" And you're sitting there
watching the movie,
and you're just giving. The couple are having domestic arguments, and like that goes on. I mean, it drags its running time, and then it stops. And like, where's the film I was promised? That's what Charles Band did. He conned people into a cinema or to rent a video, and then the film that you were there to see, it just doesn't exist.
It's just a cool poster.
That's it. This is these movies are really, really fucking terrible. Charles Band. I mean, as soon as I saw Empire Pictures, I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" I didn't realise this was a Charles Band movie at all. And yeah, like you said, I mean, where are they? I mean, if it was just there's one shot in this movie where I thought, yeah, make a whole movie of that, where one of the Ghoulies is on the piano, and I was like, fuck, just make a whole movie of Ghoulies being dickheads the whole time.
But there wasn't enough Ghoulies.
They were barely in it. It's a fucking weird melodrama that doesn't make any sense. Is he possessed?
But I definitely think that listening to the dialogue and the relationships with the characters, it's aimed at kids. I mean, fuck.
I mean,
it was really childish, right? And I mean, they bring back medieval dwarfs. I mean, it's like a kid's TV show. What was the purpose of bringing back funny little medieval dwarfs? Appealing to children at 10 years of age, renting it, like myself in 88. Maths is not my strong point.
Yeah, I mean, it's just they don't have a story to tell, and even if they had the cash to tell a story on the scale of what they purport, I mean, it's just a con. It is a con. It's what Charles Band does. How many times do you reckon someone has seriously sat down with Charles Band and said, "Find another dream, do something else. Your incompetence is unbelievable."
But this is one of the films that made him the most money. This was a big success.
I tried to find figures and I couldn't find a reputable source, but I found 30 million, and I was like, it cannot have made $30 million domestically, theatrically. It can't.
That's outrageous.
No, but I don't think that. I think
that is outrageous.
I think that figure was provided probably by Charles Band. I don't think that's accurate. That might be global, including VHS. Although, to be honest, it probably got rented a fuckload in the 80s.
This is where it made its cash was the rental market.
Yeah. Because it's got a great front cover.
It's got a great front cover. Is there any sequence that you enjoyed? Was there anything you laughed at? Any positives to take away?
The friend of theirs that's basically playing, he's supposed to be like the stud.
Yeah.
Some of his line deliveries were amazing. I mean, like, the choices he made as an actor. I mean, there was one point where he had to say something. He had to say something sarcastic. Like, "Oh, that was great," and he performed it. I can't even remember what he did. But I just thought, what the fuck's going on in your head?
He's odd. He's very odd. That guy.
Whatever that guy's on, I want some of it. But yeah, the only thing I really enjoyed was the Ghoulies on the piano. I was like, yeah. I mean, let's have some of them just pissing around.
Yeah.
I mean, the last time we spoke about a movie this absolutely awful was Slugs, and I was forced to scour the end credits to try and find things to be amused by. I found one credit to be amused by. The head of post-production's the head of post-production sound his name is Glenn.
He had some very imaginative parents.
Yeah, really. I mean, I think the surname is one N and the first name is two. Oh yeah, they're different actually. Yeah. I mean, this is not a movie. This is, we're going over old ground again because we speak about this a lot, but this is one of those films where if you didn't see it as a child and you aren't nostalgic looking at it, this is trash, and I mean it is trash. It should be thrown in a bin somewhere. It's crap.
I think it's excrement. Excrement.
Yeah, it is shit. I mean, it really is. It's shit. It is shit.
Well, there was one scene that did make me chuckle, and it's Becky. It's Jonathan's partner's reaction to. Basically, he's down in the basement of this house that they've just moved into, and he's wearing ceremonial robes. He's using incantations to raise evil spirits while brandishing a trident.
That's right.
And it's her really pithy reaction. Her really pithy reaction is like, I'll go and make dinner for myself because you're not even eating these things.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, really. I thought that was great.
I would not. I mean, maybe the actors improvise the dialogue. I mean, this is one of those films that's just. It is excrement. It's a terrible excremental film. And also, another thing that annoys me when we spoke about demonic toys. We said, okay, they have to have different methods of killing people. Instead, the demonic toys just bit each other. Also, they bit the human. They didn't bite each other. They bit the humans. In this, it's just more face biting.
No, but what it is, what I found it like just fucking nauseatingly repetitive is that they just hold the goodies on them. They hold them on them.
Oh God, I'm being
I mean, it's crap. An interesting, I thought it was quite interesting, is that Jack Nance pops up as a groundskeeper with a secret. There's Wolfgang. A Razorhead.
Was that Jack Nance?
Yeah, it's a Razorhead.
I didn't recognise him at all. Okay. You know that they originally started filming this in 3D, and then after 2 days they were like, "This is too expensive. We can't do this," and they abandoned it. Yeah.
Shoestring.
Peter Liapis, who plays the main character, who is apparently a teenager, but he's like pushing 40. He looks exactly like a crossbreed of Eric Roberts and Nathan Fillion.
Who's Nathan Fillion? Nathan Fillion?
Yeah, that guy. No?
Oh,
Serenity?
Yeah. What's he been in?
I
recognise his face.
That's him and Eric Roberts.
Yeah, that's solid.
That's it.
Great teeth.
To be honest, the actor. When I looked up the actors who were in this, I thought they have had way better careers than you'd expect. Because when we watch movies like this, you look at the IMDb page, and the actors have either had one other credit and they stopped acting, or they kind of have just sort of petered along doing the same thing. Some of them have actually done okay.
What they done?
I didn't make any notes of it. One of them was in one of the Police Academy movies, and then
as a.
I don't remember. I don't remember. I just remember thinking, okay, these actors actually went on.
I love that. I thought they were going to have illustrious careers.
No,
one of them was in one of the Police Academies.
No, I think he was actually in the Police Academy. But yeah,
if that's not a bona fide credit, I don't know what it is.
But
I definitely think they're in Mission to Mars.
You honestly, you know, when you click on these actors, like when we watch Demonic Toys, apart from.
But you didn't answer my question.
What was that?
I said which is the worst film, Demonic Toys or Ghoulies?
Probably Ghoulies, I think.
I think Ghoulies is worse than Demonic Toys.
I think so. Demonic Toys has been washed from my brain, so it's a terrible. They're basically the same thing. Come, watch this movie.
The creature design is way better on Ghoulies than it is on Demonic Toys. The Ghoulies are better than Demonic Toys.
I'd agree. I'd certainly agree with that. But I mean,
it's all about Ghoulies too. My 10-year-old self is saying to me.
It's a shame we didn't pair this with Ghoulies 1 and 2.
Well, we could do Ghoulies 2 and Critters 2.
Okay, that's worth thinking about. Yeah, I mean, this is one of those movies where it's not even worth attempting to make sense of it. It's just nonsensical. Why is there a voiceover? Why would you even attempt to make sense of this? This is a terrible, terrible film. Yeah, I think if it didn't come out before Gremlins, it came out in the same window. So everyone, when I was a kid, I never saw Gremlins, Critters or Ghoulies, because I just thought, even then I was like, knockoffs of Gremlins, don't need those.
Critters is, I mean, they were way more adult. They were more adult than Gremlins. That was the whole thing. Oh God, yeah.
No.
In terms of the gore, in terms of like Critters is way more adult than Gremlins.
I don't know if I'd agree with that.
There's no Gremlins aren't attacking humans in the way that Critters are. They're not gnawing on flesh.
Hold on. Well, let's talk about Critters in a minute. Have you got anything more to add about Ghoulies?
No, apart from that, I was disappointed and I wish it was Ghoulies 2.
Do you reckon
Ghoulies 1 is fucking shite?
It's terrible. I mean, it's awful.
There's nothing to recommend. There's nothing. Not even nostalgia value. And I'm there, and I saw it when I was 10, and there is nothing to recommend about Ghoulies.
It's another fucking Charles Band film where he's just saying, yeah, look at all this stuff. Okay, where's the film? See you later. You've just spent an hour and a half looking at a load of shit happen that doesn't make any difference.
It's rubbish.
Yeah, it's a horrible film. Okay, well.
Right, let's get on to Critters.
Alright.
Next up are a bunch of flesh-eating furballs who chow down on the locals in a small farming town. Yes, we're talking Critters from 1986.
Of all the planets in the galaxy, They chose ours. They hide in small places.
This phone is dead.
What?
They light the dark.
Jay, any luck?
Just a minute.
There's nothing cute about them. They've come a long way, and they're hungry.
Dad's all torn up, and Mom's got like a harpoon sticking in her neck, and they're getting bigger.
Critters. They bite.
So, Critters, Chet.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah, never saw it as a child, knew of it obviously. Not quite as iconic as the image of Ghoulies, but video shops of my youth. Critters was everywhere. Friends were talking about Critters, I never saw it, I don't know why. Had you seen it before?
Yeah, I'd seen Critters 1, Critters 2.
As a child?
Yeah, I loved all these fucking, evidently. I was a big, anything that I'd get my hands on that was a 15-rated horror, because the reason why I saw so many fucking 15-rated horrors is that I could only rent 18s if the video shop owner rang my house and my brother would pick up and say, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, right.
That's how it used to work.
Right.
So I creamed the fuck out of all the 15-rated horrors, and that's Ghoulies, Critters, The Gate.
Yeah.
I mean, all of those films. So I have seen Critters, yeah.
I probably would have seen it, but for some reason as a kid, I saw Ghoulies, saw Critters, and I thought, damn market, piss poor approximations of Gremlins. So I never saw them. So I mean, you liked it as a kid, I assume.
I did like it as a kid. Yeah, I had fond memories of Critters as a kid.
And how is it now?
It starts off with an opening sequence on an asteroid.
Yeah.
Millions of miles, out in space, where the critters escape.
Yeah.
I don't know how they escaped. They managed to get the shit pretty fucking easily.
Yeah.
I mean, how a bunch of little 6-inch furballs can cause so much havoc when they have these badass bounty hunters on board that asteroid.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that was all a bit nonsense, but it was fine. Mm-hmm. It was all a bit Thunderbirds. It was all a bit kind of fine.
I'm fine with it. Yeah.
I'm down with it. So then we're introduced to characters in this small town, and the matriarch of the family is Dee Wallace. Dee Wallace is fantastic. I mean, she's just great. Dee Wallace is just a great actress. Whenever I've seen her in any film, she is great. She anchors a film. Her reactions to when family members are getting attacked, how she acts as the caring mother. I can't fault Dee Wallace as an actress. I think she's always brilliant.
I liked it 155 million times more than Ghoulies, I'll tell you that. But it's a much better film in every possible department. The one thing I think a film like this has to have is humour. I mean,
this has got it in fucking space.
The moments of humour are like a resuscitation. They just energise it. It makes you realise how important humour is in films like this.
And how important humour is to horror.
This kind of horror film, certainly. Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. But it wasn't long. I think I think it was probably 10 minutes in. The first joke is when the sheriff goes to speak to Lynn Shay, his secretary, and says, "What's going on?" And she goes, "Oh, John Travolta used to be a waitress." And it's like, no, about I'm asking you about what's going on in the town. I was like, okay, great. I'm so happy we're here.
And there's loads of zingers.
Yeah, there is.
The whole film is punctuated with zingers.
Yeah, you need in a movie like this. You have to. It's like just keeping everything buoyant, keeping everyone invested and interested by having little gags in there.
Yeah, and then the director does that brilliantly. I mean, Stephen Herrick went on to do Bill and Ted, great fucking gags.
Yeah.
One of my favourite gags is the scene in the church when one of the old parishioners falls onto the church organ, and goes.
Yeah, I mean, there's just little bursts of yes, please. I mean, ostensibly, this has the same problem.
There's not enough critters.
Yeah, I mean, but it's the same problem. It's trying to disguise the fact that this isn't just a film about critters going apeshit, but it does it with skill, and it doesn't outstay its welcome. And also, they keep the critters hidden. The first time you see them, they're rolling in their little ball form, and then you just see the eyes, and you're like, that's really important. You have to keep... rather than just like, oh, when are the fucking...
No, they tease them really nicely. They're the glowing eyes are like looking at Dee Wallace in the kitchen.
That's right,
They tease the monster. Yeah. And all of the best creature features or films that feature monsters do not reveal that until late in the day.
Yeah, it's old school, but you have to stick to that blueprint. I mean, there's, it's a tiny little thing, but I think it's very, very important. I mean, this is the same length as Ghoulies, more or less. I think
this zoom by.
Yeah. This is. I mean, but because I think almost every scene in this has some kind of purpose, and it doesn't drag. Whereas Ghoulies is 100% scenes that don't matter. Whereas this has a kind of...
Well, it does. It's trying to give you... Because I thought, the whole... This film succeeds in humour, and it also succeeds in populating a film with kind of quirky characters, with good character actors.
Very, very stereotypes.
But fine.
But that's fine. At least you know who they are, and you can derive some enjoyment from their interactions. I mean, like... And legitimately good actors as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, Emma Walsh is in it.
It's great. And also some intelligent decisions in terms of the direction. One of the first casualties of the Critters is one of the local towns, Popo, and they're getting munched, and then it cuts to Dee Wallace using her waste disposal unit in a really nice cutaway. And I also like as well is when the Critters are talking amongst one another, and one of them gets blown away by a shotgun, and the other just goes "fuck."
Yeah, that's a nice little moment. My favourite thing about this movie, though, was something that never stopped. I found enjoyable from beginning to end. The main kid, his name's... Is it Brad?
Yeah.
I swear to God, almost everyone, apart from I think it was Dee Wallace, says bread. Where's bread? Bread. Where's bread? And I found that funny, doubly so when I found out that his surname's Brown. So his name's Bread Brown. I thought that was really funny. It sounds like they're calling him Bread.
I didn't notice.
Hey, Bread Brown, you better get down here. I thought that was fun. Yeah, I think the setup is a lot more enjoyable than the finale. The finale's pretty standard stuff where they're sort of creeping around, and but again,
that's the trope of all those films, is to go that way.
And it keeps it alive with little bits and moments of humour, which I think
and going down,
is so vital.
Going down to the bowling alley, getting the hit speaker going, "It's a bit early for Halloween." I mean, all that shit is great.
Yeah, there were some really nice moments in it.
And also a cheap device. I mean, it is a cheap device. Having the device of the shape-shifting bounty hunters that, to save the cost of actors, you can just keep inhabiting other members of the cast.
That's true. That's very true.
Very economical.
One thing I will say is that you would not get a movie today made where a guy is introduced in a jail cell saying that he's hearing voices coming through his teeth, and then you find out that he's employed by the main family, and the family are like, hang around with my kid, sure. The fucking weirdo, the local weirdo. What? If I was the dad, I'd be like, get the fuck off my property, you're not hanging around with my child. But yeah, I mean, this is a really, it's solidly entertaining, it's short, it's to the point, and it's done.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. He does all the things that Ghoulies sets out to do and fails in, Critters succeeds in.
Yeah, and like, when I spoke about that moment with the piano in Ghoulies, I was like, have more of that.
Have more of the Critters playing.
When they start tearing up the pillows and they just...
And they meet E.T. and all that stuff's great.
Yeah, any correspondence?
Yeah, I've got some correspondence. Paul Sutton. Love Critters, so thought I'd better give Ghoulies a watch. The comedy wasn't funny, the scares weren't scary, the characters weren't sympathetic or fleshed out. It wasn't awful, but I wouldn't bother again or even recommend it. Ended up rewatching Critters and all the sequels in one sitting. Fuck! Yeah. Okay, I'd love to know what those sequels are like, really, Paul, seriously. And if you want us to pair up sequels.
Oh yeah, Critters 2 and Ghoulies 2.
Totally game for that.
He's a more gracious man than us.
Well, I tell you what,
he's way kinder to
way more forgiving.
Yeah.
Critters, better acting, script, production, tight plot, straightforward creature feature with nothing much to criticise. Yeah, effects are a bit cheap looking at times, and Dee Wallace is a bit too helpless and screechy, but the whole franchise is a winner for me. Reputation Creative tweeted in and said, as a kid, Critters was terrifying.
Was it?
The Tipsy Gypsy says, I love Critters 4. M. Wild on Twitter says, gotta be Ghoulies, those little fellows were such fun. Ah, the memories they bring back. Ha.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, fair play. I mean, but that's pure. That's just nostalgia talking, surely.
Yeah, I mean, I'd really be interested. I would love you to watch it now and see if you feel the same way. Wow. Well, so we've got to pick a victor, chap.
Okay, well, I mean, there's no contest. Critters is a better film in every possible department.
Yeah.
Ghoulies is worthless. It is worthless. It's dreck. It's trash.
Oh, the lucky Ghoulies.
Yeah. See you later, Ghoulies.
See you later.
I mean, you belong in room 101. That's where you belong.
Proper.
Yeah.
Don't search it out. Don't look at it. Just look at the poster and go, that was done really well. Look at the marketing.
To be honest, if you see that Charles Band's name is in any way involved, just don't.
It's a seal of steaming shit.
Yeah, no question.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Critters all day long. Thank you so much for listening. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube channel where we cut all of the episodes to video.
Yep.
iTunes reviews help massively, and also we'd love to hear suggestions for future episodes. And all I've got to say is cheers.
Goodbye, see you in 2 weeks. Goodbye.